You don't go through prison and jump out and show nothing about you, because that's not a place for you to be flashy at, because you're not needed in prison, you needed in the streets.
I would say, would you say it's better to downplay the access you have as far as with commissary, with things you have? Like, it sounds like when you get in prison, if you come in there looking like you got it, they're going to treat you like you got it. It's better to maybe come in there and look like you don't have it. Go to commissary like you don't have it, and then slowly start, get into it. Because some people will go in and, hey, their parents might be like, man, here's $1,000. What you need, get whatever you need. It just seems like that might be an error to go in there and just start balling out of control right when you get in there. Especially if you don't have no name out here in these streets. You just a regular, Samaritan.
Nah, let me tell you like this, man. Because you might have somebody who will tell you, man, you go in there and I went to prison, I did that and I didn't have no problems, man. I went and did it like this, so man, niggas respect me, I respect them. I did my thing, they did their thing. Okay, with that being said, for that individual, that goes back to a question you asked me once before, man, like, would I respect somebody who did more time or somebody that, and I'm gonna tell you like this here, with 2 years, I told you I wouldn't listen to no nigga talking about he did 2 years in penitentiary. Same question applied to him, it's the same question gonna be applied to this right here talking about how he came in there with all this Santa Claus bags and did all this leprechaun gold flashing. What unit was you on, man? That's gonna be my question. What unit was you on? What was the population on that bitch? What was the security level, nigga? Because if you on minimum custody on some trustee count, you can do that, man. Because that trustee count, you know what that says? We going home tomorrow. So you going home tomorrow, they don't give a fuck about commissary. They don't give a fuck about your bag, nigga. They finna go home where everything is at. But now you come over here where he got life without parole. Nah, homie, it ain't gonna go down like that, bro. Because on first be like, say, homie, where you from? Then they want to know your name to see if you even ringing in this nigga. Do you even know anybody I know? Once we figure out you a no name and a no face, you is gonna be Santa Claus. And we gonna be glad you showed up. But the thing about it goes back to the psychological aspect of it, man. Is we gonna manipulate this and stretch him out? Or is we gonna stomp down on this and just let that be that on that once the bag go empty? Them choices gotta made at the moment considering the circumstances at hand. But overall, you don't go through prison and jump out and show nothing about you, because that's not a place for you to be flashy at, because you're not needed in prison, you needed in the streets. So if you're a man, you already know the people who put that on your books, if it wasn't you yourself, nigga, you gotta treat that like that's the last dollar you gonna get, man. Because you never know where a dollar gonna come from. You never know if somebody gonna get shot tomorrow who putting the dollars on your books. So nigga, you don't come in here and forfeit all your financial situation in front of everybody like these your partners. No, you don't owe these niggas shit, man. You sit back and be humble and hold on to what you got, man, and keep it tight. See, this real shit from a motherfucker who been there. But when you talk about it, man, I did like this and blah, blah, this. Okay, homie, if you been locked up on that unit 10, 15 years and you been hustling on that bitch like that, you can do that. You put yourself in a position to do that, man. Your wealth has came with your development. You earned that. But if you just walk through this door and you drop off like this right here, only thing gonna get you some peace, man, is you got to be feeding everybody. Because if you feeding everybody, ain't nobody gonna fuck with you. But if you drop off like that and you ain't feeding nobody, say homie, prison gonna turn into some that's known to go down in the streets, man. You can't have it all right in the midst of front of people that's suffering. That's just not a wise thing to do. Because they suffering gonna be appeased by the takings from you, because they coming for you. That's why a lot of, as they say, when they make it, they move the away, because they have no intentions of giving back. They have no intentions of looking out for the people around them, man. And you can't live like that, man. That's why I tell myself all the time, if I won $1 million lottery, homie, 50% of my shit gonna go back to those around me and those that I know suffering and whatever else I can do. Why? Because I won it, I didn't earn it. So when God bless me, in order to keep that blessing coming, I got to bless others, man. And see, that's being focused on the fact that you ain't doing it alone. When you get consumed by thinking it's a me world, then you fuck yourself, homie. Because it's always somebody over here that needs you, man. And I tell them all the time, before I see you steal from me, bro, if you need $20, man, or $30, Just ask me, homie. Because I would hate for you to steal from it, man. Because you stealing from me will get innocent people hurt. And some people don't understand it. Because when a nigga come for you and you can't control how people gonna respond. Prime example, man. What's that boy name? Ran over that police officer. The police officer killed his son and he ran over the first law he seen. Yeah. See, people don't understand that when you take the life of somebody, people, man, or you take the property that they have, you don't know the conditions of that property. How you know that my brother died and left this to me? How you know that didn't happen? How you didn't know that this the only thing I sit back and look at that trigger every memory about this man? And you take that from me because that you got it and go. And then you not even telling yourself, man, that nigga got a track on that bitch. Once I find out it's gone, how am I the bad guy when I sit out here and I marinate, and I put strap up, and then I come through and send 357 rounds from the front of that door through the back of that door. And then the cold part about it, it's never you that get hit. It could be the kids sleeping in there. All behind you want to steal shit. That's why I say, stop it before it start. Homie, if I know you hungry, man, just say you ain't ate, bro, and I'll get you a sandwich, man. Because see, I'm going to test your hungry, man. I learned this too, bro. A lot of times people say they ain't ate and ask for $1, but they really not hungry. Because I'm going to tell you something about a hungry man. If you came to me and said, say, look, I came, bro, I ain't got shit to eat, I ain't ate. And I say, all right, homie, I think I got some cans of carrots up in there and some peas, man. I'm going to get that can open. Bro, you ain't even got to cook that shit. You can eat that shit straight out the can, homie. And I come down there and I hand you a can of carrots and some peas. And you don't eat them carrots and them peas and you look at that shit, you ain't hungry, homie. Because the thing about a survivor and the thing about a who been through something, when he say he hungry, the Bible did not lie. What's bitter shall become sweet. You gonna look at them carrots, not only is you gonna eat them and like them. But see, you not hungry. You just trying to get some to cater to what it really is that you like and love. And sometimes them addictions, man, it makes the worst come out of. That's why power and fortune ain't good for everybody, man. Because that shit can attract the worst and bring the best down to the lowest they'll ever see in life, man. That's why it's meant for some people to be right here. That's just a fact of the matter. Because you can't handle what's up there. Because see, when you get up there, you're going to forget who you is. You're going to forget where you come from. And it's a possibility you're not going to sustain up there. And then, but once you up there and you forget where you come from and find yourself falling back down, you know you're dead, man. That's why you can't never go too far without saying, hey, man, you need this, you need that. So I tell them all the time, homie, if you're hungry, man, I got something for you. But I'm going to test you, though, because I know how good and how generous my heart is. I ain't finna run to McDonald's and get you no Big Mac, no large fry, no Sprite. You said you hungry, right? I'm finna help you right here, right now. I don't give a damn if I got a loaf of bread and some cheese in the house. When God fed them people, they didn't have mayonnaise and ketchup. He gave them a loaf of bread, nigga. They didn't have cheese. They didn't have onions. He gave them a loaf of bread, nigga. So if I got a loaf of bread sitting on top of my microwave and you say you hungry, say, homie, there you go. And I'll sit back and watch. But I know if you don't start eating that bread, I'm gonna take my bread back. And I'm gonna say, look out, bro, find you somebody else to play with, man. Because that bread I gave you that I thought you was hungry, nigga, that really was for my kids, man. But I know I got them. But I was gonna break bread with you to see what you was gonna do. Because had you had ate that loaf of bread, I would have actually gave you $20 cash, nigga. Just because I took it sincerely that you was hungry, because I sit here and watch you eat that shit. But everybody not built like that, bro. And some people playing games with their life, man. And they don't understand. Everybody not meant to be played with, bro. And some people really are standing on shit, man. Some people really will help you, man. But you got to help yourself, bro. And a lot of times you don't want to help themselves, man.